having a good morning or night. It's your girl. Back at y'all with another video. I just love doing random stuff like that. It's so funny to me. But this is not necessarily a more serious video, but it is at the same time. Let's have a chat. And I love to chat, so nothing new. I'm in the point of where like I'm gonna pivot into the summer. It is, I just took a nap, so like if I seem extremely mellow, it's because I'm starting to wake up. One thing that I need to make sure I always do that I feel like I haven't been doing properly is actually charge my microphones. And I do have 2 sets, but I really do like how the Rode mic sounds. And I think either I'm gonna get like another one or like just get like a better charger. The thing is, it's a really nice mic, but I feel like the charging for it, or maybe the fact that I got this one off of eBay is just not the strongest. But eBay typically doesn't steer me wrong. It is Monday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And here, I feel like I want to come down. I feel like we're gonna make this personal. I feel like, you know, we're chatting, having a conversation. So, most recently, I feel like I've been in a funk. And I feel like I'm always wearing this. So, like, I told myself that when I got out of bed, that I'm gonna start. When I get out of bed, I'm gonna actually start taking my bonnet off, because I feel like the thing is with your mindset is you honestly like get in that lax or more so like I don't want to say chill, but more so like that sleeping, not really motivated state, but keeping like your pajamas on and stuff like that. So these are the clothes that I literally went out to go take my exam with Sam in this morning. I had an exam at 7:30 to 9:30. I just needed a 60 to pass the class. So I went in there with what I learned, what I did what I did, and I walked out. There's nothing you can do more than that. I enjoyed the class. I did enjoy the professor. Do I feel like I put my all in that class? No, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't. I've been having a lot of funks this semester that I told myself that I wasn't gonna necessarily do again. I've been having grief, and like I'm not gonna go into the details. I've been grieving numerous things, whether that be career, personal, relationships, physical people. My emotions, more so by being by myself in a new city where I'm not as readily available to the family that I'm used to being around, does affect a lot more than I gave myself credit. It is more so like you want, especially when you grow, I don't want to say grow up in a big family, but more so like a big household per se. Like it was 5 of us, my mom, me, my sister, my aunt, and then like we had family come over like every now and then, you know? My aunt and then my stepdad. I miss my stepdad. We're a 5 people household. So like as we get older and you start doing your own things, especially when you're by yourself and you start going to college, whether that be you freshman, whether that be sophomore, whether that be you transferring. And this is not just a college experience in general. This is just a young adult experience, I would say. It's the idea of you feeling like just having that existential crisis time of like, I feel like I'm not really doing as much as I say I want to do and or what I say I want to do. Or I don't feel like I'm going in the right direction of what I want to do. And I feel like that is something that we all completely are aware of, that we feel. It may be to different degrees, but because I feel I'm just one of those people who just has to do so much to stay up, to stay motivated, to do this, to do that. Like, that's just my personality. I've always grew up with not necessarily doing a lot, but doing more than I think a lot of people typically do on a day-to-day basis, because I feel like I can do it. Like, I have the energy, like, that's just my personality. Or like my mom, I feel like she, growing up, I feel like she did a lot on like within the 24-hour span. And then like at the same time, I feel like I could do more. Like, I know it sounds so crazy to say, but like even what I do now compared to like some of my other peers, like my other friends, it's like, oh dang, you do a lot. And it's like, to me it's not a lot, but it also does vary on the person to person. Like I've already, and like I know people be like I be laughing when I say this word, but I've really been conditioned to think that this is my norm because I'm used to doing it. So I'm not really overexerting myself to do it, but technically I kind of am if I'm kind of pushing myself past the limit that I've originally stated for myself, or the limit that my body have created for myself. And I've been trying to redirect myself in a different pathway, in a different line, in a lot of mental progresses in my life and a lot of physical progresses in my life. I am going to eventually get there. And that is all this video is about, just showing y'all where I've been at. And it's like, oh, you making like a get ready, like do better. I'm not necessarily saying I'm doing bad. I just feel like I'm doing okay. And I feel like the times that I'm not doing okay, it really hits rock bottom because I don't have any steady habits. I don't have any consistent, and I did at a point, which is why like I can see the night and day difference for the personality that I have and how that affects me. So for me, I think because I've been, not because more so recently, I got out of a relationship, and it's like, oh, you keep bringing it up. Like I feel like what a lot of people don't realize when it comes to like where it was a talking stage, friendship, those relationships and how you do your day-to-day really do affect you in terms of, like, God forbid, anytime soon, if my grandparents were to pass away, that would mess up my whole week. And you want to know why? I call my grandparents every week. I call my papa every Monday. I call my abuelita every Thursday. Those are my grandparents. So if something happens to them or they're not, I'm able to call, that will mess up your week because that's how you frame your week. Like for me, which is why I bring it up, it's like, oh, I'm so used to like, oh, kind of, and people can relate to this, like, oh, when you're bored, like you'll call a certain friend, like, oh, what you doing, da da da. So I be doing it with my bestie, and if my bestie's busy, I have two certain people. So the person I like and my best friend, those are my go-tos. And does that mean maybe I need to lean on more people? Yes, but that also means that I also need to learn to lean on myself. Does that make sense? So like, do you feel like you can't do stuff because you have to do it with somebody else? No, I'm not. I was there at a point. I feel like very pivotal moments in my life of me and my best friend, my original best friend from middle school, not being friends anymore, does kind of shape the way I am because I was a very dependent child. I was a very shy child. I was one of those peers that did pretty much kind of consider myself to be in a group, didn't want to be, I still don't like to be the center of attention, which is kind of funny because I just make all these channels that do put me in the center of attention, but it's more so I'm putting my creativity at the center of attention rather than myself. Like the ideal when I do these is that I'm not necessarily doing them for me, I'm doing them for the creativity of the idea of me, or from me per se. So it is like, there are make sure that you understand those pivotal moments in your own personal life when trying to figure out, and I'm not trying to give you a method or show you how like this is the end all be all, like let me tell you how to do it and here's why. I'm not trying to do that. That's not what this video is about. I'm just expressing to y'all where I've been at, and the issue with making these type of videos is it's so difficult because it's a time thing. It's a time span. Like I can't really say, oh yeah, on this day I'm gonna do this, on this day I'm gonna do this, because a lot of things go into factor. Finances, time, jobs, money, mental, cooking, like economy, a lot of things really go into factor into how like availability, inventory, especially like if it comes to more tangible things, like, oh, I want to get this for this, and it's like, okay, do you have the money for that? Is it available? And sometimes one of those, a lot of times, a lot of the answer is either no or no, or yes and no. So it still affects something in relation, because that's just how it is. So I didn't want to, like, I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want to say, like, this is my start. And resources that I've really been using, having a support system goes a long way. I'm not saying that the folks that you haven't been rough growing up and this, that, and the third. I can mention me, my mom relationship all day, every day. We didn't start out as a very close mom and daughter. I feel like me and my mom, when we have our good days, we have our good days. We got our bad days. We got our bad days. But like when we have our bad days, it's like, oh, we're not talking, da da da, like this, that, and third. And now, we've gotten past the point. I went to therapy. I've understood that you really can't make people change. They gotta want to change on their own. And I can't hold my mother to a certain pedestal or a certain level for myself, because it affects my mental when we're not doing good, when she is saying stuff that hurts my feelings and like good stuff. But that's not what this is about. It's more so like having, even though through all that, in my case, because I'm not gonna tell y'all the nitty gritty and explain and over exaggerate on what we went through. Just know that we went through something. regardless. And I'm not saying that, which is why I'm bringing up, like, whatever you went through with whoever in your life, of course, bad or good, I feel like in order for people to know the real you, they have to know different versions of you. And my mother, of course, knows different versions of me. I've lived with her literally my entire life, pretty much, before coming here. And we've gotten better. Like, I'm saying there are improvements, and we're not exactly where I would like to be, but again, it's a whole other human being who has their own emotions, life, control, family, etc. of her own. I mean, I'm involved in it, but like, there's also the family that I have. Like, my family includes my dad's family, her family includes her dad's. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody have different dads. I hope, you know, it would make sense. Maybe you don't. I'm not gonna judge you today, but maybe judge you tomorrow. But it is just one of those things of like just realizing that what you want to do also is in relation to other things that aren't as easy to change as they may be. So having a support system is so important. Whether that be the support system that you need right now, or whether you want to create, put forth effort into that. If one thing that you are telling yourself is, oh, I'm gonna start texting my folks more, like, or maybe the start is, oh, we need to have a better relationship. Okay, why don't y'all have a better relationship? Well, they be doing this and this. You gotta learn to forgive. You gotta learn to forgive. Like, I'm not telling you to forget. Cool, we're not. Like, I'm not telling you to be all mature. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that if you want that and that's what you want to see achieved, you have to create it. You can't wait on nobody else to create it. You're like, oh, well, they gotta do better. You can't worry about what they gotta do. That ain't you. You can't do that. Like, that has nothing to do with you. Like, focus on you can only focus on yourself at the end of the day. You can't change what Bob, Gerald, Don, Mary, Shanita, you can't change them, because that's not you. So focus on yourself. Surround yourself with people who root for you, root for your goals, your values, what you see. In my previous video, I talked about outgrowing people, and that don't mean that you don't love them any less anymore. I feel like even for specifically families, people give them more grace. I would be very blunt and say, yeah, I do give my family way more grace, and I with my friends and family, because that's my family. These are people who have known every version of me, specifically my immediate family. These are people that have known every version of me, and despite the hurtful things that I know that I've said, that they've said, like, that is still, if for my family specifically, if anything happened, drop a dime in the head, we there, you know? So it's like, I've learned to forgive and like let go of things. I'm not necessarily at the point in my life where I've forgotten, like, oh, I know you've done this, and I work around the fact of things that I know you've done in the past, but that don't mean that we can't excel to have a better relationship. Like my aunt, I wasn't calling her every day because we were seeing each other in person. But now that we all have our, like, we individually have our own spaces, we're 4 years apart, we are now in a space where I want to call her, I want to check on her, I want to see how she's doing, because that's still important to me. It's just not really available to me because we're no longer in the same space. And with that being said, if you know that you want to be countries away and whatever away, but still have a good relationship with your family, you need to solidify that right now. And I'm not saying solidify that while you together, but I do say, like, make an effort to want to do better things, to hang out with the people that you care about. Like me, in my head, I know when I go down, I'm gonna see certain amount of people, or if I know I'm going down more than one time during when I go home, I'm gonna go see this person during this time and this person in this time, because these are the people who care about me and want to see me succeed. When I'm not there, when they talk to my mama, they always ask about me, see how I'm doing. These are the people that I want to make sure that they know, and I know that I care about them. Number 2 is give yourself some sense of direction. I want you to create a list of everything that you said you want to do. I promise I know it's a little overwhelming, especially if you're coming from a spot from where I am. I've been so frustrated. I've been so, like, it's like, just think of like a spider web or like a cobweb, and everything is connected. So it's not necessarily that everything isn't necessarily there. It's more so everything is just so disorganized, especially if you are a plan A type person. If I don't text before morning, it throws out my whole week, and by the time it's afternoon, because my afternoons and when you're in school just be flying, the days be flying, and it's like, dang, well, I just take the Wednesday, Saturday, and it's like, dang, the week is really passed by and I haven't, and like you just get into like, well, I should have just texted that, I should have, could have, would have. Move on, please. Having everything of what you know you need to do in one spot, and you may not have everything off the top of your dome because you just kind of, but I'm saying, like, have like a list, and as you think, oh, I want to do this, at that. I want to do I want about it like, and then decide to like create from that into categories. Why do you want to create that in categories? Because it helps you direct and focus on certain things in those categories that you create. Okay, this is my life category. This is my health category. This is my career category. This is my da-da-da category. Like, whatever that looks like for you. If one of your goals is, I want to work out. Why do you, figure out first, why do you want to work out? I want to work out because my family got a lineage of diabetes and I want to be healthy. Oh, I want to work out because I'm tired of looking at myself in the mirror and then my clothes are fluctuating and I don't like how I feel. Like, it might not necessarily be positive, but that's your reasoning why, and then let that be your motivation for what you become. It's not that easy. It's not easy at all, actually. I'm not going to say not that easy. It's not easy at all. Anything that you want to work that you're not already doing is so difficult. It's so difficult. Whether that be changing your sleep schedule because your body is already so adjusted to whatever sporadicness you got going on, adjusting your morning schedule, adjusting the fact that you now going to do this in the third. Okay, you're going to work out on these days instead of this days. The motivation, like, there's a lot of things that contribute to the hardship of whatever you're trying to achieve. But you can do it. Never once could I say you couldn't do it. You desire to be in any room that you want to be in, and you desire to be in because you know how hard you've been working. You don't gotta explain yourself to anybody at the end of the day. Like I said, when I was talking to my mom, I ain't gotta explain to y'all why I know that I work so hard. I ain't gotta explain to y'all that I'm so proud of myself despite me still not having the bachelor's degree that I should have got 2 years ago. I'm proud of myself because it's the way that you want to carry yourself. And one thing I will say I have really worked better on is speaking to myself in a positive light. When nobody's here, when I close the door, I've cried a couple of 50,000 times. Sometimes you just be crying. Sometimes you just gotta cry, man. Like, I am very open and honest about the fact that I do cry by myself. Like, it is okay. I feel like you should learn to be okay with crying by yourself. You should be okay with seeing that yourself in the mirror and realize that you're crying. It's something that I think growing up I didn't have the most security with, like being able to cry in front of people, which is why I still hold that I don't really like to cry in front of people, or if I do I start to hyperventilate. Like, we ain't get to that. But you have to know the reason why, and you have to find you're okay with that. So for me, I can't even say crying in front of people like that, but I will cry in the comfort of my silence, in comfort of my loneliness. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm still letting out and conveying my emotions, but I'm still not doing it maybe to the degree that I want it. But you have to make steps. So, like I said, organize. So make you a list of everything you want to do, and that means tangible. Like, I'm talking about a big list, and it may seem very overwhelming, which is why you want to create into those categories to where you're not just looking at one thing. It's like, dang, I got a lot to do, which, I mean, we do, but you got time. You got time. I mean, it's so good to, like, put yourself, like, make every day your last day. That goes into contribution into how hard you need to work. Yes, but that don't go into contribution of how hard you need to overwork yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're two different sides of the same coin, but you gotta remember what part of the coin you need to focus on depending on what part you are working on. So I'm not gonna say, oh, I need to do this and this and that, when you also got work that day, you also got this that day, you also gotta cook. Like, make sure you structure your schedule for you. For me right now, where I'm at, I don't condone the use of AI, mommy. Like, there's people around me that use AI. I have used AI. I think more recently, I feel like I've used AI a little more frequently. Not proud of it, but I'm not gonna shame anybody for the resource of the fact that it is technically free. It's not free at the cost of our resources. Like I am going to explain why I don't like using AI. I'm not shaming anybody. Like, oh, we're shaming for using it. I'm not shaming anybody. I'm just saying that there is a repercussion for all the consequences that we create and we produce in this world. AI, glorified search engine. The idea of AI is pretty much just taking the resources that you are looking for. It is tailorized to the question that you are asking, and it is going to look for that and find the answer to that based off other responses and things that already exist in the world. That it's glorified. It is a glorified search engine. At the same time, those resources are using distilled water, which is water that cannot be reproduced or went back on after being used in these fiber fast connections to give those instant quick replies that you get on AI. That is using our water resources, which in big cities like Dallas, Houston, I'm specifically in Texas, and Tennessee and all that good stuff, those AI centers are producing all these fumes that can create respiratory issues for a lot of people, low-income community, which are typically people of color community, based off of economic hardships and just generational history. So It is not a good resource. I have used it. I'm gonna tell you what I use it for. That don't mean, I feel like if you do use it, I feel like you should be mindful of your usage. I'm not saying that you need to use it every day. I'm just saying that there is a resource, and the thing is, the reason you don't want to use it because there's a dependency of not really thinking for yourself and creating those environments and resources that you need for that production. Does that make sense? So like, yeah, you can look at ideas of this and this to get you, like, to get your footing. I'm not saying that it's not a good resource. I'm saying that it's a very accessible resources for the time that we are in, when a lot of things are hard. Like if you don't know where to start with budgeting, you don't have no friends or family to show you budgeting, you be like, hey, help me create budgeting, and that puts you in the door. That makes sense? Invest in that, put you in the door. I get it. I'm not discriminating into that. But I am saying that be mindful of what you're using it for, because if you're using it for simple stuff, and now that a lot of these companies are even as simple as Canva AI tool, like they're all adding AI within the name frame of what they're doing nowadays. So being mindful of the resources in the environment of you. Same thing with sheeting and recycling, reducing your fossil footprint towards the world. Of course, I know a lot of us struggle with that because of gas, and especially in like bigger states in Dallas and stuff, it's really hard to get to point A to B without a car. It's really hard to walk in these unwalkable cities when interstate is going 70 miles per hour, and the last thing I want to do is walk on the interstate and get hit, because it be happening. Trust. You really want to be on the side of the road with your car on the interstate, because these folks be flying. But I use this all this to say, I use this resource, be mindful of this resource. I am not discriminating against it. I don't like the resource, even though I've used it to say, oh, you're a hypocrite. To an extent, yes. But at the same time, I'm not going to deny that there is positives for study guides if you don't know what to do, if you've never studied, if you don't have the resources. Like, it is accessible. But at the same time, this is not my excuse. I use it in the sense of where I just feel overwhelmed to where I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to start. It's like, okay, like I'm trying to do this and this and this, and it's like when I think about it, it's like, oof, like it's just a lot. But when I think about it, give it to something and they produce it for me, I can see what it should look like in terms of, okay, I have a direction of where to go. I'm saying that this is a use of direction, not as a use of not, I don't want to say consistency, but more so like a overly used resource. I feel like this is not a resource you want to use all the time, or the fact that it will eventually limit the fact of how much you can think for yourself and your creativity. To an extent, it does strip that away from you, because anything that you do put in it, and whatever, depending on whatever AI you use, ChatGPT is the most common one, it does take those ideas and it will take it regardless if you say, oh, don't keep that. It's going to keep whatever you put in it, and it use it for its own gain, or whatever you put in it, you thought it was going to use for this, it could be using it for that, and you would never know because the internet is so vast. But I used it to create me a schedule, a summer schedule and a fall schedule when I start school. So pretty much what I do is like, oh, I want to include my wash days. I want to build me a regimen, not necessarily a regimen. I want to build me a better habit, lifestyle habit that is focused on what I want to do. I want to focus on my career. I want to focus on school, because I feel like in different aspects, which is why I've already created my list. And of course, I can show you what those lists and stuff look like, but I've done that 50 million times. I've done these, and if you want me to go into more detail on like how to do these things, where to find these resources, I can, but I'm not doing it in this video. I've created me a list. I've had my categories. Okay, I'm gonna be working I'm working while I'm in school. I'm full-time, part-time worker. During summer, I won't have class. I'm not taking any summer classes, so I have a lot of free time while I'm working. And then thankfully, I've been blessed enough to have an opportunity where I'm transferring to a job that's actually in my city, and I'm so excited because gas is so expensive. But the job that I currently work at, 30 minutes away, with a toll tag. I'm not only paying toll tax, which is cheaper if you actually have the NTTA tolls, which is like North Texas Tax Authority, or North Texas Toll Authority, something like that. But basically, it just makes it cheaper instead of paying by mail, because paying by mail is like 2 times the price of like the toll tag. Like, it's expensive if you take it every day. Like, my coworkers were literally talking about how they spend like $100 in toll tags alone, and gas is almost $4 per gallon. Yeah, it's just an expense that I if I have the opportunity, I'm gonna cut. So I was originally offered a different position over there. I was making more money over there. Sometimes it's not about the pay. It's about the accessibility, it's about the resources, it's about the environment. And if I can go in my backyard of going down the street to a job that's more readily available to me within the same system, because I'm not necessarily transferring companies, I'm still in the same company, then it will work out. But it took me some time, and I didn't necessarily quit my opportunity of that job. And I'm so appreciative of that job and the people and environment to an extent, because they have opened up a different pathway to me that wasn't really available if I wouldn't have took that job that was maybe a little bit further away. In that same sense, you have to know what you're looking for, what you want, what you need, what you're willing to sacrifice, and what you're willing to not. Which is why it's so important when you go in any aspect of life to figure out, okay, this is what I do want, this is what I don't want, this is what I've learned I do not like, this is what I've learned I'm not good at, and reflect on that before going into any opportunity, any relationship, any friendship. Give yourself time and space to reflect, to learn what you did not need to do and what you do need to do. That is very important. Like I said, I create me a fall schedule and a summer schedule. So for me, I pretty much want to build the schedule. Okay, so my focuses and my goals, I need to get my PCTB certification. What is that? Pharmacy tech stuff. I need to study. I need to start making time to study my career, not just for school, which is one thing that a lot of college kids, and maybe you already do this, kudos to you, but a lot of people ain't really teaching you or telling you this. You need to study your craft and your stuff on your free time, because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do in school is you're trying to be your forever home, your career for the rest of your life. Regardless if that's the same specific job that you want to do or whatever job you start with is a little different. If that's the career you want to be in, you need to know your career, because that is what forms and creates those insecurities and habits of feeling like you're not where you're supposed to be and this and that, or you feel like you can't be in the same room. You need to know what everybody in that room is talking about. How do you know what everybody in that room is talking about? Knowledge, reading, staying on your craft, being aware of what you're doing in class, understanding. Maybe you didn't understand that topic, but maybe you got to retake that class. Not just teaching yourself these topics because you're in crunch time. Teaching yourself in the topics and being okay and relaxing and making that a part of your routine of being okay with really getting into the things, getting into the nitty gritty. But it's not nitty gritty anymore because it's become your habit. I'm trying to make these concepts my habits. I'm trying to create a lifestyle, which is why I'm not saying a regimen. I'm not saying this and that. I want this to be me. I'm trying to become a new person in the sense of ain't nothing wrong with me right now. I love her. See, I didn't take these nails off because I'm so irritated, because when one nail breaks, it's like, ooh, but the rest of the nails look so good. Shout out to my girl with this. See, she did her thing. But I miss that feeling. Like, I love that feeling. Like, I want to work out. I want to eat better. Like, I want to cook more. I need to, like, be so much more. And the biggest thing I need to do right now, and which is why, like, I want to read more. I want, my main goal, I need to get off social media. I need to get off my phone. Not necessarily electronics. I feel like a lot of things the stuff that I want to do is more electronic based. But I want to schedule and be more intentional with myself and my time, which is my goal for my vision board. And I've mentioned my vision board, and I mentioned all this and that. I want to be intentional with my time. I want to be intentional with the people that I love. I want to be intentional with what I tell myself, as well as the things around me. Okay, hey, can you do this for me? I got you. And I do it. Not no next day, the other day, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to keep giving myself an excuse. I'm sorry, I was too busy. No, do it. I said I'm going to do it, I'm doing it. And working out and laundry and making these habits. I want a better skincare. I want my skin to look good. I've been slacking on my nighttime skincare. I have. Like, waking up at a consistent time really does set you up for a better day. Going to bed at a consistent time really does set you up for a better morning. Because you're being more intentional with what you're doing with your time. Getting off your phone, doing this and the third. Like, reading. I want to get closer to God. But I'm really, like, I want to get close to God. I feel like I've been straying away. And I feel like that does affects to why I feel like I get into some of the sticky situations. Because God isn't necessarily going to not put you in a situation that he knew that you was hard-headed to not listen. Sometimes a lot of people just got to see to understand why that is not good, what's good for them. And I will say that in a lot of my relationships and a lot of my aspects of my life, I had to get to a really low point for me to see, baby, this is not what I want. I thought I was okay with really skating past. No, I need to work harder. This ain't it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it's not even necessarily hard stuff. I want to get better with budgeting. I want to get better. Like, there's so many, and I can go on and on about what I want to do. But the whole thing say you want to, like I said, I'm just gonna reiterate because it's important because I'm yapping and I'm gonna put visuals. But you wanna have a system. Whatever change or whatever forth you trying to put forward, have support to say, dang, I'm having a rough day, and be able to tell somebody you're having a rough day. Whether that be maybe you ain't got that, whether that be your therapist, whether that be your friends, family, find somebody, at least 2 people, find you a community, start going to the recreation center, like find you a support system. They ain't gotta look, a lot of people they ain't got their family or friends, or I ain't got no really friends out here. I got associates and people that I can turn to, but sometimes I don't got nobody that's gonna reach out to me and say, hey, how you doing this week? I thought about you, you know. So, and then number 2, you want to list everything that you want to do. Like just do a dump. List everything you want to do. From that list, that's we on number 2. Technically it's like 2A, but we gonna label number 3. Number 3, you are gonna figure out from that list what categories can we put in health. Like figure out those categories for you, and from there we need direction. That is your start direction to give you a plan. Okay, these are for this category. I'm trying to do all of these. Okay, when it comes to this stuff, you're not gonna do that all in one day. Remember that. You're not gonna do that all in one day. That's not the goal. But at the same time, you are trying to put forth some effort. So if that we're gonna start with a little segment, and that's waking up at this time, going to bed on this time, and doing your skincare. If that's all you start with, that's all you start with. That's okay. Even this, like, it's pretty much organized. Everything. I pretty much just said, hey, I want to do this and this, and it listed it out for me with no issues, because it don't got the stress of, oh, I'm overwhelmed, da 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 da. It's a computer, which is why I said I use a resource for the fact that I've really been in an overwhelmed spot. It tells me how to use the guide. Basically made me a little guide. I have a wall checklist. This is what I need to make sure. I tell myself I'm gonna do this day. I'm gonna wake up at a certain time. I'm gonna do yoga, stretching, because I feel like as you get older, it's very important to prioritize like working out, doing some type of exercise, getting yourself out the bed. Don't sit in the bed all day. Because I feel, especially for me, because I know the mental that I have, if I feel like I sit in the bed all day, I feel like I wasted my day. Even though I may have just needed some rest. Okay, well, what does a rest day look like for you? What does a productive day look like for you? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have 2 different type of days. You're gonna have days where you really like you that pump going, and then you have days where like I'm just sluggish, because that's just life. That's just life, and being okay with both. Okay, so having daytime, nighttime, all that good stuff. Summer schedule. What is my summer schedule like? I'm studying. I have certain goals for myself. I need to do this by August. I'm gonna do this by this. That makes it easier for you to get stuff done and give yourself a hard push and motivation to get to a certain point, because you got deadlines. Okay, this needs to be done. These aren't ticking timelines for you. This is not to give you anxiety. And if that does, let's start a little small. Give yourself a little bit more time. But that don't mean that you don't need to not do it. You gotta work for it. You want it, you gotta do it. So, and then I have a schedule based off what I got coming up for school. So for example, me waking up, I'm waking up at the same time from the beginning of tomorrow to the beginning of when I start school, because I want to keep something consistent. I'm not necessarily trying to do something for the summer and then it puts me in a negative headspace for school, and it doesn't work for school, and then it creates more conflicts for me later on. I'm trying to create a lifestyle, which is why this is so important to understand the difference, because the regimen is just for that time period of whatever you got going on. At the same time, your lifestyle will change based on the person that you are, and that is the goal. But this is a good frame for me to start with. So, like I said, this is just, and I'm gonna be honest, it don't matter how many videos you make. You can vlog it, you can write it, you can journal it. I'm not really a journaler, and I can say I'm not really a this, I'm not really a that, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put in the effort. I'm gonna attempt it, and I'm gonna work hard at it, because that's something that I told myself I'm gonna do, and it would make a difference in whatever else I'm gonna do. If your goal is to put out content, you need to set tangible goals for yourself to put out content. I've told myself I'm gonna put out content. I got all these resources and availability of things that I can do, and you'll be like, oh, I ain't got no time. You're not. And I can say sometimes you don't have time, but sometimes you're not making time, and there's a difference, and you have to be real with yourself to know what is that for you. But I'm getting there. This is just, I know this video is a little long. I wasn't trying to get it to be almost 40 minutes, but it is. Because including like my intro, outro, and it's going to be about 40 minutes. But at the end of the day, I just want to show y'all where my head's at, where I've been, my mind frame, how you can get there. Just a little tidbit of how I can get there. Like creating binders and journals and all that good stuff, like gold books and cheap resources. Get you a binder from Dollar Tree. Get you some screen protectors. Like I'm gonna put in tabs. I got an expense tracker. Like I got a glow up plan, weekly structure. Okay, on Sunday I'll do church. Affordable skincare, glowing up. How I need to save my money. What I need to like. You just gotta start. Just start. Like okay, just do yourself like. And then if you want to start adding like more stuff that you're not necessarily doing, be mindful how much you want to add. Okay, if let's start with this, the basics. Waking up, working out, or wake up when you work out, or like figuring out what that looks like for you. Because like I said, when I start school, my schedule's gonna be more blocked because I have requirements of class that I need to be at. Because my focus at the end of the day is education. Not everybody is gonna see and understand the way your life is and what you need to do, and that's cool. That's fine. You ain't gotta explain nothing to nobody, because at the end of the day, it's for you. All it is for you. Like for me, I don't have to sit there and explain why I want to make my bedroom this, or I move my desk to over here and my bedroom is on it. I ain't gotta explain it, because at the end of the day, this is my apartment, this is my room, this is my space. I want my space to be for me. I don't have to explain it to nobody. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that some people are gonna be like, well, why are you doing it like that? Because I mean, and you're more than welcome if you think that they're asking valuable questions, because that's somebody who's genuinely curious into what you got going on. You're more than welcome to explain. And if you don't have an answer, you ain't gotta have an answer to everything. Sometimes you just want to do stuff because it's cool, or you like it that way, or it just feels right. That's an answer. Now, when it comes to some of your bad habits or more negative connotation things, I feel like really need to decide deep. Can I English? Yeah. You really need to dissect why you're doing what you're doing, because a lot of those things are connected to trauma unintentionally. And it's like, oh, this generation is so. A lot of people say this generation is so quick to put a label on things. I feel like it is important to put like, well, why you feel the way you feel, and reflect on what you did, and understand what you do or don't want to do in your future from your past. That is important for yourself to not repeat history, which a lot of time we can see in a lot of this world views that a lot of the government, a lot of people, a lot of generations, a lot of races will repeat historical patterns and things that have happened in the past. You can see that evidently in daily life. So I'm gonna get there. I'm not. This wasn't just to tell you all the hobbies and stuff that I'm gonna do. This is more so to say I'm gonna start. This is my mindset. This is where I've been at. This is what I'm gonna do, and I'm doing it. So for me, I alternate. And for my content go, I'm not at the point where I can put clips, TikToks, and all that good stuff. I'm not there yet, because I want to do my content authentically. I'm just not a short form content. I love yapping, I love talking. Of course, I can break this down and all that good stuff, but I like to yap, I like to talk more like longer videos. So I'll alternate between a YouTube video, just posted one Sunday, and a podcast. Originally, I threw in gaming in there too. I don't know nothing about no gaming. I'm struggling with trying to get it set up. I just want to get my foot in the door for that. So I create the channel and stuff, but maybe right now let's just play with it. Let's understand what to do, how that works before you start saying I'm gonna do this. But at the same time, you'll eventually get there. Maybe it's not this month, but it'll be next month. Does that make sense? So you're not telling yourself no. You're telling yourself not right now at this moment. And sometimes, eventually, maybe you will have to tell yourself no, because it's overwhelming your body, and a lot of times your body will tell you no, and you don't even realize when you overwork yourself and you get sick, because you've been overdoing it, and you should have been getting rest, but you didn't, because you're trying to push yourself. You're not trying to push yourself, you're trying to create a new boundary. Okay, there's a difference. We're not trying to overexert ourselves, we're just trying to exert emotion. But that's been pretty much it. If you have any questions, concerns, I want to kind of make this a part series, so I'll be doing like little tidbits of what I'm gonna do. So like I said, I've made a binder for myself. Maybe I'll go into a video. Maybe my next video will be me more explaining how that looks like planning wise to me, and how I did that and all that good stuff. But that's pretty much it. If you like the video, like, subscribe, turn on the bell and notice if y'all wanna not required, but greatly appreciated, but all that good stuff. I just went to this video, and I feel like where my head has been, I feel like I've really been changing as a person, which is cool. I'm still me, but I still feel like as a person to where I want to be. into things that I want to reach, I gotta grow a little bit. What did that be? I need to be more readily available for myself, and I feel like I'm not. Or like even being aware of saying like, oh, I feel like, especially when I don't have structure, I be laying down too much, which I know I be doing. But laying down, having scheduled naps, because I know I need to nap. Not everybody's a napper. I'm a napper. I'm a proud napper. It's okay. Like just learning what's best for you. But no one's told you I love you. I love you. No one's told you I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Most important, stay brilliant, be safe, watch your surroundings, these folks is crazy. From my heart. Alright, thank you. Bye.